Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Waharakar Kadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And I want to talk about the MOTB. And you know, here at Great Millstone, we like to show you the infrastructure, all right, because the MOTB, the mark of the beast itself, there's an infrastructure on which it needs to be manifested. All right. Anytime you do any endeavor, you need an infrastructure to support it. For instance, when Rome wanted to tax the people, that's why they needed roads. You needed an infrastructure. You needed roads. You needed tax offices. You need tax officers. All right. Nothing just happens out of thin air. So an endeavor as large as the MOTB would require an infrastructure. So we point to that infrastructure to show you the prophecy being manifested. Now, Revelations 13 and 16 says this, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So the two terms really I want to focus on, that I want you to be on the lookout for, those of you who are prudent and you check up on the news and you check up on the BIS, the IMF, the World Bank, which if you follow Great Millstone, you should be familiar with those organizations. If you're not, you need to get to know, all right? Especially if you're a man, all right? Part of being a man is being aware of your surroundings, all right? Not being an idiot and the only thing you know is sports. That's not being a man. Furthermore to that, part of being a prince is being aware of your surroundings, all right? Being knowledgeable. Now, one of the terms that they use to disguise what they're doing is called financial inclusion. And another term that goes with that is called banking the unbanked, which is part of the same narrative. Financial inclusion and banking the unbanked. Now, obviously, I followed the BIS, the Bank of International Slavery, and they popped up with this tweet, hashtag financial inclusion is all about providing access to useful and affordable financial services for people as well as businesses. And part of making it, you know, that's where blockchain and the new financial system, which is has much lower fees and more streamlined and more efficient, is coming into play. But that's the CBDCs, and we know what comes with that. All right. So this is basically coming up against the legacy system. The legacy system excludes a lot of people. There are a lot of people, even in the United States of America, who are considered to be unbanked and don't have access to financial services. It says financial inclusion is all about providing access to useful and affordable financial services for people as well as businesses, and crucial for economic development. Ooh. So it's a good thing, right? So let's listen to this person. And obviously they target, obviously when it comes to banking the unbanked, in all these Western countries, there are people who are unbanked. But more so in the developing world, there's a lot more people that are unbanked in places like Africa, certain places in Asia. Okay, so they really, obviously, they push this terminology a lot in Africa and so forth, right? And it looks like they're doing a good thing. You know, they're allowing vendors to get access to credit and stuff, and whatever the case may be. But ultimately, what they're doing is they're providing a way to bring everybody into the one world system. So
from the World Bank that has just completed a 24-month secondment with the financial inclusion it's all about providing kind of access to useful, to affordable financial services for people and for businesses. But ultimately, financial inclusion is really important for economic development. And to date, I guess, or from 2017, 1.7 billion people currently operate kind of their lives without access to any form of regulated financial service or.
And those people, they want them. That's why you got the push for the digital identity, the push for this new CBD system, because they want those people in the system. But they're gonna sell it like, oh, we're trying to help. It's not that. They want those people in this new system. They want them tracked, they want them traced, they want them chipped, they want them with that mark. As it is written, he causeth all. What does inclusivity mean? All, everyone. You're all inclusive. Everyone. Banking the unbanked. Everybody needs to be within our financial control. That's really what it's all about. But they're obviously gonna sell it to you like, oh, you have people that are unbanked and we got to help those people. It's not fair. All that business there. You know how the devil do. The scripture tells you, man, this man speak with a tongue nobody can understand, man. He got a forked tongue. The man will say one thing, but really he mean another. There's an ulterior motive.
Or a transaction account. I think one of the key takeaways that we had in our paper is that, if you are issuing a CBDC to address financial inclusion, then you must design it with financial inclusion in mind.
So a lot of the BIS, the Bank of International Slavery, aka the Bank of International Settlement, they're the central bank of central banks. They've already, listen, all the central banks in the world already know they have to adopt and push through CBDCs, right? If you don't, you're going to get left behind. Everyone is going to do it. Like, they're all playing games. Oh, we're testing it. No, listen, they're all going to do it. They're all taking guidance from the BIS, the Bank of International Settlements, the IMF, and the G7, the top economies. They're all pushing forward with CBDCs. Britain is leading the way in terms of among the G7 in Europe. But China already have their CBDC. You understand? The MOTB system, the infrastructure is already set in place. This isn't something which is questionable or debatable. This is what they are doing. But you know how Esau, he has to make it look like there was some pushback or no, like this decision has already been made. And so when they brought forth their guidance for, which I did a video reading it, their guidance for the CBDCs. They said, listen, if you're going to design and have CBDCs, obviously you got to make them sustainable. So use sustainable technology, use carbon neutral blockchains, blah, blah, blah. Stuff like the XRP ledger, Algorand, stuff like that. Don't use basically proof of work like Ethereum. Use something which is more environmentally friendly. And even Rushak Sunni, or whatever the hell that nigga name is, he said that the UK's financial system wants to be net zero, carbon neutral. So they're going to use blockchain technologies which are pretty much carbon free or carbon neutral. Okay. All right. And then one of the things they said that this new CBDC platforms or technology must improve inclusivity, meaning for everyone. Everyone has to have access, unlike the old legacy system. Okay. What does that sound like to you? And he causeth all.
Hello, I'm Nanea Abouachia-J, a senior consultant from the World Bank that has just completed a 24-month secondment with the FSI at the BIS.
And I'm Felix Cura, speaking from Basel.
So they're gonna have, this woman here from so-called Africa, and then some Edomite discussing inclusivity and make it sound all nice and dandy, and they're doing it for everybody. All right. I wanted to get this here. No, not him. Where is it? Right, definition of financial inclusion. Let's get that. So look out for these terms: financial inclusion and banking the unbanked.
Many people.
There are many definitions of financial inclusion, reflecting different aspects of what people think is important. Let's look at some of these definitions, starting with two simple ones. First, access to and use of financial services. Second, the proportion of individuals and firms that use financial services. It is essential to have access to financial services for you to be financially included. However, these definitions also highlight the importance of usage. As we will see in this module, many people with access don't actually use the services. Without usage, the benefits of access are limited. Let's consider another definition. Access and usage of a broad range of affordable, quality financial services and products
in a the point. So they want everyone to be able to access the financial system, which isn't happening right now with the legacy system, which is why they want to bring in a new system. So which is the CBDCs.
UK's presidency, the group of the world's 7 most advanced economies, the G7, is launching a set of public policy principles for retail central bank digital currencies.
Retail meaning these are the CBDCs that people are going to receive. And you're going to hear one of the policies they've put forward is to have it be inclusive. And again, that goes hand in hand with he causeth all.
CBDCs. Central bank digital currencies could be a...
by the way, and this same pussy-hole, he's one of the 2 leading characters in the UK to be the next Prime Minister of the UK. And look at him, you know he's a good old boy. You know, he's been rewarded with a lot of money. Esau has allowed him and his billionaire wife to basically cheat and escape taxes. So he's a good boy. He'll do whatever he's told. And that's how it works. These little bitches they call politicians, they work for lucre. They work for reward. So Esau puts these people in these positions, and for doing what they're told, they get rewarded handsomely in terms of wealth. So he a good boy. He gonna do exactly what he's told, man. He a real bitch. And that's why he's up for becoming Prime Minister. You don't become the leader of a country unless you a real bitch. Unless you do what you're told. Even if you think it looks like they're not doing what they're told, like Trump. You don't become the president of America unless you're willing to do exactly what you're told and push forward the agenda for the ruling elite of Esau. And that's just how it is.
Version of money, a bit like a digital banknote that could be used alongside physical notes and coins. Unlike most of the digital money...
It won't be used alongside. They're going to phase out cash and coins. But, you know, they got to make it sound palatable.
People use daily today, it would be issued directly by a central bank, like the Bank of England in the UK. And governments and central banks across the world are working together, looking into what having a digital currency might mean in practice. This includes issues that people care about, such as ensuring users' money would be safe and secure, that it could work with other ways to pay, would be energy efficient and available to everyone.
Available to everyone. That's called financial inclusivity. That's called banking the unbanked. That's called, and he causeth all. Okay, so everything's going down, man. You got to learn sometimes how to read in between the lines. Financial inclusivity is the same as saying, yeah, this is for everyone. We're going to make sure that everyone gets this. This is for everyone. It's inclusive. No one will be excluded, whether they're small or great, rich or poor, free or bond. Because this new CBDC financial system linked in with the rest of the technology is going to form the basis of the MOTB, and your chip is going to be your access, right? And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, that no man might buy or sell. That's your financial services, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. You know, these are the kind of things we look at. These are the kind of things we follow to get an idea of, you know, where things are heading and how fast things are moving forward. All right. So whenever you see that term or you hear them speaking about financial inclusion, that's MOTB talk. Whenever you hear them talking about banking the unbanked, right? Whenever you hear them talk about banking the unbanked, that's MOTB talk right there. All right. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.